this could be something, and like I said, this could be something that has been going on for quite some time, maybe way before the whole, limitations and shutdowns due to what's going on in the world right now. But I do feel like you do feel somewhat trapped in some way, shape, or form, or some restriction in some type of way. So this is going to be what your overall energy is as of right now. You be the one to discern, why that might be. We will go ahead and revisit this. It's a little warm in here now, so I'm just going to take this little sweater off. But we are going to look at the shadow side of things. This could be you feeling, restricted in terms of money. This could be in a relationship. This could be in terms of, work. But I do see that the energy that I'm getting is this, like, you've been feeling this way for a long point of time. And for some of you, I'm hearing that, there have been some things or something that you've been wanting to do, and you were already feeling like you didn't know if that was going to be able to happen. But now you really, really feel that way. Maybe because there's been so much time that has gone by that you haven't been able to produce this, or maybe it's because of what we're going through right now. It's like, well, now I really can't do it. But there is something here that's making you feel restricted. But I feel like it's something that's like really on the front of your mind, but it's really deep rooted. I feel like this has been something that you've honestly been thinking or feeling for a long period of time. Okay, so let's go on here. Let's see what it is hidden in the shadows. Let's get to the root of this. Okay, so what do we have here? All right, so I'll show you what we have here first. All right. Okay, so we're just going to go one card at a time because there was a couple of cards that came out here. And let me just get my little book here. So intuitively, when I'm looking at this, okay, there could be some of you that feel as if your restriction has to do with someone else that you're connected to or tied into. Maybe you're feeling like you would like to go a separate direction, but you don't feel like you can because maybe there's a friend or there's a family member that you've been dedicated to, and you just don't feel like you can possibly go on and do what it is that you need to do. Maybe they're really highly influencing you to do what they want you to do. Maybe you're staying, I don't know who this is for, you're staying in a certain area because, you feel like this person needs this connection between, yourself and them. Or maybe you feel like you couldn't possibly break this union between you and this person because you feel like they need you or you need them. Maybe there's a little bit of codependency here. But I do feel like there is someone here, regardless if it's a family member. This could be someone that does literally have a twin. Okay, so if you're a twin out there and you're trying to, really go on with your own identity, this could be something that is speaking directly to you. But for those of you that have, family members or friends that feel really close to you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be blood related, maybe you feel like you are restricted because you do want that alone time, or you do want that individual personal space. Okay, maybe you have broke away from a family or friend dynamic and you haven't reached out to the people that you used to be connected to, and maybe you're in your head here, okay, and you can't move on with your life because you thought that moving on with your life was going to be the answer. But now you're even more inflicted because you did move away from this connection with this person or people, and now you've been able to live your own life, and you're mentally still thinking about them. Your heart, because I'm seeing here, your heart is still connected to them in some type of way. And so maybe it's time that you reconnect with them or reach out to them. Or for some of you, maybe it's time that you do disconnect and get a little bit of individuality. So again, this is, there's two messages that are coming through here. So however this resonates, all right? But we're going to go ahead and look at the other message. These are the shadow sides, okay? These are the things that are deep within us. These are the things that are hidden even from us sometimes. These are the things that we don't necessarily like to acknowledge or want to acknowledge because they're just, too difficult to look at, but sometimes so very necessary. So let's go ahead and look at what this next card could be saying to us. Yeah, so this is all about isolation, okay? And so when we're talking about being, feeling restricted, right? Maybe some of you would like to reconnect to the people that you feel like you're closest to, but because there is a trying time in our lives, you do have some isolation going on here, and it's making you feel even more restricted. Some of you have isolated yourself purposely. And isolation can be something very positive, right? Because it does teach you how to really do some soul searching. But maybe, and this card kind of indicates that it's been taking a little bit too far. Like maybe you isolated a little too long. You isolated yourself from the people that were the closest to you. And maybe even if you haven't like physically isolated, this card even talks about here, this one that we were first looking at, talks about holding in certain feelings or desires, expressions from people that are closest to you that you used to share things with. But this card also has that same type of tone. Letting you know that if you don't share your thoughts and feelings with others, they do echo back and forth inside of you until you turn them off. And that only you can break free from the pattern of isolation, especially if you've made it clear you want to be left alone. You need to change the signals you're sending out if you want companionship. So for some of you, there could have been a situation where you were like, you know what, I really need to be alone right now. And maybe you didn't mean forever. And maybe someone, thought that you meant that you just wanted them out of your life. And the signals got really crossed, and you haven't been able to make it back to them because you fear, are they going to let me back in? Or maybe you were dead serious and maybe you just isolated yourself without even telling anybody. Or maybe you did come off wrong at that moment and say, you know what, I just need to be left alone. I just really want to be left alone. And maybe you said something in a way that had a different type of tone, or maybe there was an issue where there was a confrontation, or there was a little anger or frustration, and you kind of pushed someone away, or possibly some people away. But now it's like, okay, so you feel restricted now because you've caused this isolation. Is this really what you want, Virgo? Is this really what you need? Because are you yearning for this companionship now? Okay, and you don't know how to redeem yourself. So, and again, if you're cross-watching, the roles could be, replaced. Or maybe this is something that happened to you, Virgo. But what I am seeing here is definitely some isolation, some restriction. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Okay, it doesn't have to be all solitude or all society. All right. You can let the right ones in. So I don't know exactly what has happened here, Virgo, but I do feel like this could be a direct message for someone. Either someone needed their own individuality and someone broke free from someone and someone took that very harshly, or someone harshly said, you know what, I really need to be on my own and be my own person. And so there was this isolation and there was this disconnect between two people or between someone and others. And again, this could just represent what's going on at this time. Maybe you were making plans to go and see friends and family members and you were dragging your feet. And now it's like, with everything that's going on, it's like, damn, maybe I should have went. Maybe I should have gone when I had clear opportunity. And now with everything that's going on, I don't necessarily want to put myself out there because of all the risks of it, but it's really making you think, wonder if I would have just done what I kept saying I wanted to do, or maybe if I would have let my guard down and really took the initiative. So yeah, we're looking at mental entrapment and isolation, and then right there in the middle is like companionship there, okay, of any kind. All right, so we got doable. The key is within your grasp, okay? So it's like, you might be feeling like you are restricted, or, there's some isolation, there's a wall up here. But it says that this is doable, okay? It's definitely doable. So for some of you that, again, I feel like you might be looking at this from a standpoint of, now I can't do this, or, it went too far, or it's been too long, or I don't know how to come back, or I don't know if they'll accept me back, or, I really don't want to make that phone call, whatever. Just know that the key is within your grasp. This situation can change, okay? It literally can. So don't take it too far in your mind to say that it's doomed and there's no there's no coming back. But this card talks about what you seek is within your grasp. As with all the yeses, there are adjustments. Release yourself from a lingering mental prison of fear that you are not enough. All right, so let's go back to this. This restriction is also a mental prison. So I don't know who this message is for, but this is getting pretty detailed and pretty direct. All right, because now we're talking about having a mental prison of fear that you are not enough and that you're not worthy. But it says that you have the right key. Do not doubt it. It's time to be grateful for your teachers, even the ones whose lessons you didn't necessarily like. Past lovers, past employers, bullies, cyber stalkers, all of them had lessons to teach you. Incredibly, when you meditate on gratitude for these lessons, the struggles around you dissipate. The key to opening the rest of your life hovers within your grasp. It's yours to use. Okay? Just a side note here. It says, if this card is drawn at a time you are seeking to step up into the next widely acknowledged level of success, whether it be career advancement, passing a test, being accepted into an institute of learning, this card indicates that the answer is yes. So if some of you have just been, entrapped about finding this success, and being united with, what you love to do, and feeling like, you don't know if you can get there. This is yes for success when it comes to business, career, passing a test, that sort of thing. But when we're talking about, and I just had to read that insert because sometimes there's certain things that speak to certain people. But for the collective here, and I feel like the collective might not be that big when I'm seeing this message. I feel like this is a direct message. And sometimes when I say that, it comes back to where there's like all these people that are like, oh my God, that message is for me. So there could be a lot of you that feel disconnected from someone, okay? So I don't want to discount that, but I do feel like for the collective, this is about a person or people that you're isolated from and having this mental entrapment, feeling like, you know, now you're not worthy or now you're not enough to go back and say, hey, I've missed you. Hey, I need you in my life. Or maybe you're waiting for someone to come back to you to acknowledge this. But this is definitely mental trapment 101. This is isolation, mental prison. I mean, this is just over and over again. There's just a tone of detachment here, Virgo. And so we're just going to keep going. We're just going to keep going. But the cards are definitely all speaking to each other today. So let's just move forward, okay? And I think that what I've learned so many times, unfortunately, in the last 15 years is that, you know, the old cliche, time waits for no man, you know, and it is really, really short. I mean, these days, I feel like it's Friday. Every 2 days, it's Friday again. Then it's Saturday. Then it's Sunday night. And there goes supposedly Monday. I don't remember anything after someone says, oh, it's Monday. Next thing I know, I wake up out of the fog and it's Friday again. Life is too short. So if you need to make that phone call, if you need to send that text, make that trip, if you feel like your heart is really, really pulling for it, or if someone has been asking you time and time again to go and you feel a little tinge of guilt because you haven't gone already, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but, you know, your mind and your body and your soul definitely speaks to you. And maybe you reached this, you know, this channel, this reading, this message for a reason. And I mean, you don't want to have tons of regret, okay? So I am going to take all of these. Typically, I'll be like, you know what, it's too many cards. But there's a lot that is hidden here, Virgo. And I feel like, I almost feel like even with your reading, I feel like I'm having to pull this out like ever so gently and slowly, because I feel like this is how this situation has been. It's like not easily to decipher, not easily to just open up the box and say, oh, okay, this is what's going on in here. It's like with you guys, it's like you got to be very, very careful how you get in there. And sometimes I don't even think you guys understand how deep certain hurts that you guys experience are for you. I just don't think that you kind of, you know, go on and do what you have to do, because you guys are doers, right? And so when you got the doable card, I'm like, yes, you know, you guys get it done. But sometimes when it comes to matters of the heart and when it comes to feeling certain things, it's like you guys are such doers. It's hard for you guys to slow down and really be like, okay, I really heard that. I really felt that. It's like you got to slow down and really feel it. So I feel like with everything that's gone on in the world as of late, this has really put a mirror in front of you to say, okay, now look at this. Now address that. So what we're having, now that we're talking about this is fairness. It says the situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. Yeah, I also call this my Libra card, because anytime there's scales, anything to do with fairness, just, you know, Libra. So you might be dealing with a Libra, but also, again, this is talking about fairness. So there could have been a situation where, you know, like I said, there could have been a confrontation between you and someone else, and this needs to balance out, and this situation is going to be handled through some type of fair system that the universe is going to grant you with. But something needs to, the scales need to tip here. Okay, there needs to be some balance put back in here. We also have golden opportunity. It says open. No, it does not say open. It says important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. All right. So I feel like this is a direct message here that, you know, there's going to be an opportunity. There's going to be an opportunity for fairness to come in. And this is going to be a golden opportunity for a door to open. And Virgo, you must acknowledge that the door is opening, so that if you do want to revisit this, if this has been pulling at your heartstring, this will be the golden opportunity for you to walk through that door, literally, for some of you to walk through that door. All right. Now we also have focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make the mark.